Alrighty, we did a lot of changes in this week's assignment. I'll try to go over it briefly in this video, and I might make another video if I have time that goes more in depth onto each of those changes. The main goal of this week was to be able to get our different product pages to render in their contents from an API that was provided for us. So the goal is to get this tent page to show all these different tents. We can get these backpacks. I'll show those. Sleeping bags, we'll show those. And hammocks, we'll show those. So it's a very important step in this week was being able to get all those things to render in just from a backend API that was provided. The main changes that we made took place in our product listing modules and JavaScript files. So nothing really changed here other than we have to actually get this category parameter. So we're going to be we'll have to add in these images. They each come with their own links that go to index.html, but they give us the category that we're going to be using. So if we click on backpacks, the category is going to be backpacks. Note that sleeping bags is sleeping dash bags. And using that category, we're going to pass it into some other things that are going to then help us pull from the API. So the changes you'll have to make are in index. We're going to remove those top products, and we're going to add these containers here. And we're going to have those references to each of the index with each different category specified. The other thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to make a .env file, and that .env file is going to house your Vite server URL that we're going to be using, and you will also have to change that in your Netlify account. You'll have to make sure to add that into your env folder so that it can actually use it. And then we're going to change some of the styles to make it look a little better and to format those cards that we're adding in. Let's see, we're also going to have to add we add a product pages index HTML. So we're adding that in so that we can actually see, let's see, is it product pages? We're adding product listing index. So those are the major changes. This is what that file will look like, just basic HTML, still pulling from our header, our load header footer. If you go to the JavaScript for that product listing, we just got load header footer. We're going to get parameter for category. These are all things that we move out of product.js, by the way. So product.js, we're moving some of those things into here. And then if we hop over to product list and product data is where we're going to see the most changes. The get data, we're no longer using the constructor for this. It's just going to be empty constructor, and then we're going to be passing get data. We're going to pass that category parameter, and then I was having some trouble, so I added some console logs. But we're going to print out, okay, where are we actually getting this from? What's the API that we're pulling from? And if we check it out over here, we can see in the console log, we're getting it from whichever API it says here. And if you pop it open, you can actually see this is our results. These are all the different tents that we can get from it. So really great way to load in these tents. So we have to do a fetch response, fetch using the get response to actually get those tents. We're using that base URL. That's from our .env file. And remember, it won't work if you open up your Netlify. It won't work. It won't load in any of these things until you have that base URL saved in your Netlify account, and it'll be in a .env file. Because this .env file, it's not getting pushed to GitHub anywhere. It's just more of a practice assignment, so it doesn't really matter. But when you're actually working with real-world code, you don't want this .env file anywhere. You don't want it saved on GitHub. You don't want to show it on YouTube or anything, but since it's just a practice, we're fine. So that's getting us our response. The next thing that we'll have to do is this find product by ID. Once we hop over to these pages, if we click on this link, we're now going to be keeps cutting out. We're actually going to have to get that product ID a new way, because before we were using just the JSON file. Now we actually have to follow, okay, what we want to get that URL, we want to get that product, we want to get the ID. So if we actually look at that URL, we could copy this right here. And we could say, okay, if we look at this base URL, let's paste that in. Let's see, base URL plus product slash ID. I think I typed it in with, well, it's going to pull from the URL that we pass in, and it's going to get us just the JSON for this page. So it's going to give us all this. And the other thing that we'll have to do is we'll have to fix those images. So in our templates, we're going to have to change those product.image to product.images.primary medium, primary small, primary large, whichever we're using it for. So this is for the product lists, that we want a medium image. For the larger image for the product details, if we hop over to there, we'll change it to product.images.primary large, so we can see that. And then for the cart, we'll also have to change the cart. Cart modules. We want to change that template to item.images primary small. And we don't have to change much else that works with the cart, right? Because we're still just getting this JSON file. And whenever we click add to cart, then we can hop over to cart and we can see that it is actually adding just that entire JSON that we pull from the API to this cart. So we can pull open these. You can actually look at all these details here. You can see images. It still has those links to the extra large, large, medium, small. In this case, in the cart's case, we're just pulling that primary small. So we get those small images. You can see that's where we're pulling it from. And our remove still works. Just runs all the same. But now we have different product pages for each thing. We didn't have to add anything in. Someone on the back end has already done that. And we're able to just pull from that API. And it's a great way to get more into the realm of full stack development. Hope that helped, guys. Have a good one.